So, we are officially in the season of Mercury Retrograde, and this particular period is when we can expect there to be more of a focus on communication, travel plans, and also use of technology, because these are areas that are often impacted by Mercury Retrograde. But it also provides a really wonderful moment to reflect and to do a lot of introspective reflection as well, in terms of the way that we process our thoughts and feelings and emotions. And it's something that I'm definitely feeling the energy of this year, because I am usually super productive. I wake up at 5 a.m. every day. Even before we had Tina, I was waking up at 5 a.m. every day. And, I had my morning routine. I would do that religiously every single morning. And then obviously do a whole day's worth of work, and then still have time to do YouTube and all the other things that light me up. But literally, as soon as the summer has hit this year, my energy has completely depleted. And I've kind of found myself not feeling like doing the things that I normally like to do, like my morning routine, for example. And I've actually started to listen to myself more and realize that it's okay if my routine changes over the summer. It's okay if I have more energy first thing in the morning and kind of at dusk into the evening when it really isn't as hot. It's okay if in the day I do just the things that I have to do and I don't try to exert myself and do more. And this is not always easy for me personally to kind of accept, because I am the person that wants to maximize every single moment in the day in order to do the things that I want to do. But I've actually come to realize that you have to listen inwards and you have to take the time to listen to yourself. And I think we don't do this enough at all. A lot of people have in their minds this kind of hustle culture. You need to always be go, go, go. You've got to be super productive. I mean, you've only got to look on YouTube and see there are so many videos talking to you about how you can maximize your day and make the most of your time. But actually, when we are in the season of Mercury retrograde, it is the perfect time to just reflect on your life, where you're going, how you're feeling about it, and the things that you want to perhaps change for when Mercury retrograde passes. And it's something that I've been thinking about in my terms of my life here in Italy, because as you all know, I've been living here in Italy for 6 years, and I was reflecting just this morning, actually looking back at some old photographs from back in 2018 when I first moved here to now. And I've been on such a journey here in Italy, and, I've seen some incredible things, but I have found myself in perhaps recent years being a little bit more negative, particularly about where I live in Palermo. Now, of course, Palermo is a tricky city to live in. It's beautiful to visit, but it's tricky to live in. And I think it's only natural that there is going to be certain elements of everyday life here that can kind of wear you down. But I've realized that perhaps my attention has been too focused on those aspects, to the point where, I no longer see the things that actually make me love this city. And so, this period of introspection has actually made me think that in September, I want to start a gratitude practice on my Instagram account at Miss Brittany. If you don't already follow me, I'll put the link below in the show notes. But essentially, I want to start a gratitude practice where every single day I capture something that I'm grateful for here in Palermo. And I think something like this is a perfect way to kind of redivert your attention from the things that don't make you feel good to the things that do. And when we are actively looking for things to be grateful for, we tend to attract more of that into our lives. It's just the way that it is. And it also works in the reverse way. When you're feeling negative about something, it's very easy to find something else to feel negative about as well. And so this is the first kind of inner reflection that I've been doing in this period, just kind of the way that I view my life here, because I saw another really, really amazing quote maybe a week or so ago, where it basically said that, um, sometimes we are thinking so much about the future that we actually forget that we are living the dream that we once had. And this was a quote from Stephen Bartlett. And it's true. Like, it's so true. Like, sometimes I forget this was once my dream. And I have been able to create a life for myself here, which at one point was just a figment of my imagination. It was just a seed of inspiration in my mind. And I've been able to grow that and nurture that into a full-blown life here. And, you know, this is the thing that sometimes we forget. We don't spend enough time reflecting on our journeys, on our progress, on ourselves. And I think this is the kind of season I'm in at the moment. And, you know, like for example, next week is the week of Ferragosto here in Italy. So we're kind of in a period where August days are hot and slow. You know, a lot of people are on holiday at the moment and will continue to be on holiday throughout the month of August. And everything just kind of winds down even more so than normal. And it's a kind of feeling that I'm actually embracing this year. Like, for example, next week, I have a week's holiday and I intend to do absolutely no work whatsoever. So this week, I have to find the energy to do a bit more work, like create some content to batch create and schedule for next week so that I don't miss a week of videos and audio. But I'm not intending to do anything new next week. Next week, I need to have that moment of disconnect, that moment to just be slow and steady and listen to myself, because I think we need to do that. It's an essential part of who we are as humans. We are not wired to just be like, go, 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 because that is why things like burnout happen. And it's good for me because I have another week off at the end of August into the beginning of September to kind of coincide with my birthday. And I've decided that's the week where I can focus on kind of this whole Ms. Brittany brand and concept and the direction and the future and where I want to go with it. That can be the week for that. But next week is my week to disconnect. And it is this that lights me up. It is this that brings me joy, because essentially, if you don't take the time to listen to yourself and you don't take the time to think about where you're going and how you're feeling about things, you end up arriving at a point where you either burn out or you just feel like completely devoid of any kind of energy or enthusiasm or anything that once lit you up. And so I think the point of this podcast today is to encourage you to embrace this season of introspection, to really listen inwards. If you don't feel like doing something, don't do it. If you have more energy at particular points of the day, listen to your body and change your schedule. Nothing has to be written in stone. Everything can be adaptable and can change. And I kind of feel like we should change with the seasons, because different weather conditions, especially here in Italy, do affect the way that you feel and the energy that you have. And I think, you know, if you try to have the same kind of energy that you might have in the winter when it's colder, for example, you make your life more difficult than it needs to be. When you're like sweating and like exhausted because you're trying to still run around and do all the things that you would normally do when it's like a lot colder here. So, you know, it's this. This is the feeling that I want to embrace this season. I want to embrace this slow energy, this time to really reflect inside of myself, and to also just remember where I am and what I'm living. Because I think, you know, that kind of gratitude can only ever take you to great places. I'll see you in the next episode.